Well, hello everybody out there in Derby world. I am the King. I'm joined here with October Revolution, and we're about to bring you Emerald City Roller Derby taking on Sonoma County Roller Derby. We've got a great game lined up over here on track 3 right at the Big O on Friday. And so to get things started, I'm going to pass it over to October Revolution, and she will bring you who is skating for Sonoma.
Right, so here's the roster for Sonoma County Roller Derby. We've got number 0, that's Rowdy About It. We've got number 128, that's the Boone Villain. Number 1729, Lucille Balls. Number 192, Y-Fly. Number 22, Sonar. Number 23, Lethal. Number 335, The Hotspot. Number 485, Chica Boom. Number 50, Captain Shira Badass. Number 405, Wheezy Anna Slamma. Number 60, Sasha Buzzkill. Number 76, Kilrismanic. Number 7950, Renegade, and number 87, KWOW.
All right, and skating for Emerald City Roller Derby is going to be 00, Mindestructible, 02, Lantuna, 101, Thrash Bandiscoot, 12, Cobra Kai, 16, Bath Assaults, 22, Spunky Bruiser, number 3, Mrs. Spoutfire, 33, Skinner, 4, Slay Station, 50, 50 Shades of Cray, 611, Hawkins, 615, Boom Harangue, 617, Nymphadora Stomps, number 8, Slapcat, and 83, Rex Havoc.
And to go through your official roster quickly, we've got Terabyte, Locomotive, Extra Crisp, Derby Sanchez, Doling It Out, Admin, Switzerland, Norleaf, Alcoholic, Admiral Mayhem, Il Presidente, PK Biddy, Pete in the Pool, One Neat in Bangkok, Jeff Timus, and Landon Flat.
And they are about to all take the line here. It looks like out there first is going to be Thrash Bandiscoot for Emerald City.
That's Rowdy Bout It for Sonoma. These teams right now are ranked as of March 31st, 175th in the WFTDA for Emerald City and 185th for Sonoma County.
Bandiscoot right now really pressuring the back of that wall, trying to get him past that pivot line, unable to find an opening. And in the back, Rowdy About It, still struggling to get past that green wall and has not made it quite to the pivot line yet, and trying to press through, going left to right and back again. Both teams reaching the top of the apex, but defense right now is dominating the pace of this game.
Direction of play call made on the pivot from Emerald City. That is number 33, Skinner.
As we roll into turn number 2, both jammers continue to go back and forth laterally, trying to find some kind of opening or purchase in which they can push themselves out of the pack. And just like that, Rowdy About It is out of the pack as your lead jammer.
That was about just under a minute to get that lead status.
Well, both jammers were in a fairly quick pace going into that pack. It was basically going to be a photo finish, and they decided to go ahead and call that off. No points put on the board by either team, so we're going to go into jam number 2 with a 0-0 score.
We burned about a minute and 20 off the clock, but the teams seem to have felt each other out. Ready to start all over again. Jamming.
What? Oh. No, please go right ahead.
Jamming for Emerald City, that's going to be number 611 Hawkins, and for Sonoma, that is number 504 Wheezy Anna Slamma.
Wheezy Anna Slamma does manage to bounce around on the outside line of turn 1 and is out as your lead jammer.
Number 22 for Emerald City, head to the penalty box. That's Spunky Bruiser.
Very fast pack right now as the jammer comes in, does call it off very quickly. Once again, both fists in the air by these jam refs. No points scored. And we're going to go into jam 3 with a 0-0 on the board.
Yeah, you said that first jam was very defensive. It turns out there's 2 jams in a row now that are very defensive. And the offense isn't able to eke anything out quite yet.
The Boone Villain is on the line for, excuse me. That is Cobra Kai on the line for Emerald City. That's Renegade out there for Sonoma. Cobra Kai is out first as your lead jammer. And once again, both jammers are free and trying to get back around to that very fast pack.
Fun fact, I was on the plane with Renegade last night. She's sitting right behind me. It was a very late flight. I'm very impressed right now.
Well, just like that, Cobra Kai does get in, finally ekes out 2 points, and we have cracked the seal on this game. We finally got some scores on the board. So 2-0, Emerald City right now on top.
That's less than a point a minute, I think, in this game so far.
Sonar is going to be out there for Sonoma, and I do believe that is Bandiscoot once again for Emerald City. This jam is on. Bandiscoot's trying to press that inside line, and a huge pileup at the top of the apex. And Bandiscoot did make it out of that pack, and that big mess up at the top. She's your lead jammer at this time.
It's going to be the pivot from Sonoma headed to the penalty box. That's Chica Boom. I missed the penalty, though.
And it's a waterfall of hits right now, hitting the jammer, Sonar. Finally, she is out of the pack.
Great blocking up front by Boomerang, although it does send her to the penalty box. She's going to take a seat for Emerald City. It's 2 blockers from Sonoma in the box, 1 from Emerald City.
4 more points put on the board for Emerald City, and they are up to 6-0.
Hit This Derby gear has everything you need to get rolling, from skates to protective gear and unmatched service for all your derby needs. Before you hit the track, hit this! Exclamation point.
Our jammers out there of note are going to be Y-Fly and Hawkins.
You know you've been in derby too long when you're like, they're at the pivot line. Everyone's like, yeah, we don't care. Like, it's exciting for me, okay.
Super old school derby style.
I'm excited by it.
And just like that, Hawkins is out of the pack. She is your lead jammer. Cray with some nice defense out there. She is glued to the jammer from Sonoma and knocks her out at the top of the apex.
There's quite a number of whistles going on right now. Looks like the jammer gets to stay in, but 2-on-2 pack I'm seeing. As far as blockers go, it's going to be 2 in the box then as well.
Right.
For each team.
Looks like only 1 point was picked up. I think it has to do with there were skaters down and such. Finally, she is out and does pick up another 4 points. 3 points, though, picked up for Sonoma.
And I know that's the danger of the box point, is that you only need to pass 1 to get 3. Or the danger is when there's no pass, no penalties, you pass a bunch of people, but you don't really pass them. It's a 5-3 jam. Scores 11 for Emerald City, 3 for Sonoma's. Time right now is 24-11 left in the first half.
Rowdy About It is going to be out there for Sonoma with a star on her helmet going up against Cobra Kai. Rowdy About It once again trying to take that wall from left to right, but Cobra Kai is out of the pack as your lead jammer.
Emerald City still has a pack advantage, although it looks like it's just about to end.
Cobra Kai gets low, dips around the top of the apex, struggling to get through in turn 2, does get out, calls it off, and that's going to be a 5-point grand slam as we are in a power jam.
Yeah, Rowdy About It headed to the penalty box right at the end of that jam, so we're going to start in a power jam for Emerald City. They're at 16 now to Sonoma County's 3. Looks like all of Sonoma County's blockers are out of the penalty box, and there's 2 blockers from Emerald City in the penalty box, so that the pack advantage, 1 in the penalty box. The pack advantage does go to Sonoma here.
Bandiscoot is your jammer of note for Emerald City. Nice work offensively by Emerald. They did a nice little sweep and opened it up enough to get her out as lead.
Emerald City doing a great job here slowing this pack down to maximize on this power jam.
Direction of play penalty being picked up by a Sonoma blocker. That's going to continue to keep them short on the track.
We have a multiplayer block penalty called on the pivot from Sonoma, making them even shorter on the track now with only 2 blockers.
I believe that was K-Wow picking up that multiplayer. Go ahead and call this jam dead. But that's another nice scoring pass. They are up to 19-3 with 22 minutes left in this first half.
Yeah, Sonoma is really having trouble keeping their blockers on the track, and Emerald City has been able to capitalize on that quite nicely, putting pretty much all of these 19 points up there with a pack advantage.
Hawkins is out there and will be going up against Louisiana Slamma.
Emerald City's got all 4 of their blockers. Sonoma's got 2 on the track right now.
Ooh, that was a real nice move. Oh, and a humongous hit. Oh, but it will be accompanied by a penalty. I believe that should be a low block. Chica Boom will be headed to the penalty box.
Just in time for the Boone villain to be released from the penalty box.
5 points being picked up on that pass for Hawkins. And with that, was Louisiana Slamma finally out on her initial pass.
It's going to cause Hawkins to call off that jam. There's going to be no points on this scoring pass. There was 5 on the one previously. Makes the score 24 for Emerald City, 3 for Sonoma County. 21 minutes now left in the first half of this game.
Well, they're doing a really nice job of containing the jammer or capitalizing in that power jam they just had. It seems like somewhat of a low score as we have, get into the early stages of this game. But really, Emerald is dominating with their play as of yet.
Yeah, they're really able to kind of get into the head of Sonoma and cause a lot of these penalties, which tend to be up at the front in the last line of defense or multiplayers, blocking out of bounds, stuff like that. Moves of desperation from a blocker, so if they can kind of get back together, they may be able to stop the bleeding here.
Well, just like that, Emerald once again is out as lead. Spunky Bruiser is the lead jammer out there. She is in and on her scoring pass. Gets through and does call off that jam just as the opposing jammer was working her way around. 4 points picked up again for Emerald, 0 for Sonoma.
Sonoma's going to call their first team timeout here. It's a good time to remind you that the 2018 WFTDA Continental Cups will provide the best in region throughout a competitive bracket. This first year, the Continental Cup Series will be hosted in Kalamazoo, Michigan, Omaha, Nebraska, and Birmingham, United Kingdom. You can find out more about the Continental Cups and other playoff season excitement at WFTDA.com.
Well, this right here is a good timeout for them. They have, obviously, as we had just mentioned, that last in between jams, kind of struggling with, pulling the points, putting the points on the board, staying on the track. Penalties have kind of been plaguing them, and so it's time to calm everybody down.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that part of their issue has been that their pack has been getting broken up. Their blockers have been broken apart, and when Emerald has the pack advantage on them, they've done a very good job at splitting up the 2 or 3 blockers that are on the track, and so Sonoma has been picking up more penalties as they've been doing more risky actions as blockers to try and slow the jammer down and keep the score low. I mean, in some ways, this is a pretty low score considering how long of a run we've had of at least 2 blockers in the box for Sonoma, so they've done a decent job with that. But if they want to get points back, they're going to need to keep their players on the track.
Right. Keep them on the track and keep them together. And with that, Sonar just got pushed out of bounds at the outside of that straightaway. She is your jammer for Sonoma. Cobra Kai is your jammer for Emerald City. Sonar really pushing that wall up, doing a great job, being aggressive.
K-Wow running there for the last line of defense, doesn't make it in time. Cobra Kai, the lead jammer for Emerald City.
And just like that, looks like they got a goat in the back. Cobra Kai gets out, scoots around, and as she gets bumped out of bounds, calls off this jam. They're going to confer on those points, but I think she might have got all of them.
2.
Well, then, see, that's why I'm not a ref.
It's true. I don't know. I couldn't see where people's feet were. Maybe they weren't in. I don't even want to speculate. I'm real short, and we're sitting on the ground. I mean, so.
We're going to see Y-Fly out there for Sonoma as the jammer for them. And I believe that is Bandiscoot once again for Emerald. Oh, man, Bandiscoot made short work of that lighter pack for Sonoma, and she's already your lead jammer. And that's a direction of play penalty being picked up on Lethal, who will now spend 30 seconds of her life in the penalty box.
Yeah, Bandisco really taking her time when she approached the back of the pack, able to plan a path before engaging, and it worked out pretty well. Took less than half the track for her to get through.
Very tight pack, nice defense being played out there. Sonoma with a nice little tap out on the outside. I believe that is She-Ra Badass who just knocked out that jammer.
Yeah, some good work here by Sonoma's blockers working together, slowing down Bandiscoot, keeping themselves as a force inside this pack.
Well, they drifted off that inside line, and both jammers actually went running up that inside line. No points were picked up for Sonoma. Another 5 points put on the board. That was a grand total of 10 in that last jam.
It's going to bring the score to 44 Emerald City 3 for Sonoma County. We've got 17 minutes, 42 seconds left in this half of the game.
So, hey, if you're at home watching the game, send pictures of your pets and join the Big O from home. You can hashtag Big O Cats and hashtag Big O Dogs. We love to see all our furry fans.
I prefer cats, but I'll take your dogs.
And just like that, around the outside, that is Hawkins making short work of that pack and becoming your lead jammer.
Out right behind her, though, is going to be Rowdy Bout It. About a half a track back, giving a little bit of time. Good track awareness there by Hawkins. She calls that off a little bit. She looks a little frustrated she only got 2 points, but those are 2 unanswered points, so I wouldn't be too sad about that.
Yep, it's any points you put up, and with a goose egg on the other side, those are good points.
Especially when you burn a good amount of time to do it. I mean, you get the 30 seconds burnt off in between. You're extending your lead and extending your lead. I mean, not that you really worry about time in the first half of the game, but...
All right, Cobra Kai is going to be out there again for Emerald City as your jammer. And going up against her is going to be Louisiana Slammer.
Louisiana Slammer now trying to take advantage of that outside line, but gets knocked back from the inside by Emerald City.
That was good pack awareness right there. They knew where that jammer was and they were not going to let that jammer go. And that is also going to be a penalty that's going to be picked up on Slay Station.
Lead jammer going to Sonoma.
Boy, do they need that right now.
It's hard. California is pretty far away from here in comparison to, down the street. There's not a whole lot of people cheering when they get lead, but I'm excited.
Yeah. Jammer getting knocked out of bounds. She's now working her way into corner 3. And, that was a gigantic hit. My goodness, I believe that was Stomps that just had that big old hit out there. But was that a penalty called on her?
Yeah, taking a hitting position penalty.
Oh. Oh, too bad. She was at the top of the apex, almost had worked her way through, but did put a foot out of bounds and had to stop and go back and start again.
Yeah, though, with the old cut rule, though, that would have been a cut.
Mm-hmm.
But because she yielded, she was able to take another go at it and score some points here.
That's a nice run out there. Another 5 points being picked up.
Direction of play penalty now being called on number 23. That's Lethal from Sonoma.
And, it looks like we had a star pass, and it resulted in a cut. Skinner with the star headed to the penalty box, and that's going to continue an excellent scoring opportunity now for Sonoma.
Yeah, if this penalty goes the full 30 seconds, we'll start the next jam with it. So there's just about 16 seconds left in this one. Another 5 points now on the board for Sonoma. Called off the jam, 18-point run.
I like that call off too. That's a good time to call it off, get some fresh wheels out there. Make sure you get the lead jam status. Make sure that you're getting as many points to claw your way back in this game. Just with that last jam, they put up 18 points. That they're now just need another 21, and that's striking distance for any Derby team.
Yeah, that was there was 10 seconds left on the clock about in the jam. So the jammer's tired, right? She doesn't want to take another run at that because every second that she wastes is a second that jammer is getting closer to getting out of the box. So fresh legs with a power jam is a pretty good idea.
That's a nice push out by Rex Havoc trying to control that jammer. The jammer's already made her way to the top of the apex. It looks like she's not getting a lot of help from her friends, though. They are waiting for the jammer who is standing in the box.
1 to go. Lead does go to Renegade.
And Renegade, your lead jammer for Sonoma Organic.
The penalty box looks empty.
No way.
I know.
Oh, that was a gigantic hit. Wow, with a nice smack on the jammer for Emerald.
Certainly K-Well's going to take a penalty for that, though. It's going to leave Sonoma down a blocker and a strong one at that. But Renegade's still in scoring position, and Emerald hasn't completed their initial pass quite yet.
He's going to call it off, picks up those 4 points, calls this jam dead.
Score now is 42 for Emerald City, 25 for Sonoma. So a little bit of swing and momentum.
So you had mentioned that step out that used to be a penalty. I mean, if you had, 1 foot back in and didn't have the chance to reset. Do you like that rule set when they changed it?
I do like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. At first I didn't like it, but now I like it because you saw she stepped out, she stepped back in, and she went, oh, wait, I stepped out.
Yep.
And then she was able to go back and reset. And sometimes people reset when they don't have to, so you still kind of get that fake out where you get more time or you recycle someone who didn't know that they cut or not.
Yeah, I think it actually cleaned it up a little bit. It made it a lot smoother of gameplay.
Yeah, and you're not having the endless cut
Right.
when you're playing those lines.
I agree. Well, Bandit Scooter's out there for Emerald City as the jammer. She just came around the top of the apex and is your lead jammer. Sonar is out there for Sonoma and still struggling to get through that green wall.
One up front for Sonar to beat. Going to be number 22, Spunky Bruiser. Big recycle there.
I was about to say that was a last-ditch hit, and wow, she's got to feel good about that because that is going to keep that jammer in there just that much longer.
It looks like Sonar's getting a little bit of offensive help from her pivot, although they ran out of time and are taking a second to wall up.
Yeah, well, they've got a nice wall set up, and I like that. They've checked in, and now here comes the offense off the inside line. Multiplayer block that is going to be called on Spunky Brewster.
Initial pass finished by Sonar. Good job here by both teams, kind of neutralizing those jammers like we saw earlier, able to hold this jam to 4-point score now for Emerald City's 46 to Sonoma County's 25 as we tick towards the half. It's a very different game than it was just 3 minutes of Derby ago.
Well, we're going to see Hawkins out there once again. Hawkins getting having so far a really nice game.
Rowdy Bowden headed back out for Sonoma. Been a second before we've seen her. Since we've seen her.
Both these jammers engage this pack. Both of them trying to pound their way through. Hawkins slipping and having to pick herself back up. Forearm is going to be called. I believe that is number 60, Sasha Buzzkill. She's the team captain.
In that ensuing confusion, Sonoma did pick up lead. Emerald also completed their initial pass, and we've got a 2-on-2 in the actual engagement zone of the pack, and we've got one more Emerald City blocker racing towards it.
That is a perfect play for Sonoma right there. They had the light pack of only 2 blockers out there that came and peeled them off that inside line. Textbook. That is textbook because you get those free points from the penalty box, and that's an easy way to get those points back up on the board for you.
Great way of controlling the speed of the pack in order to make it work to your advantage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you don't see a whole lot of go real fast, go real slow, go real fast, go real slow a lot, but that was a good way to use this fast pack, not just to tire everybody out, but to get those points, call it off.
Fly and Cobra Kai, those are your jammers with the stars on their helmets in this jam. We're already up to turn 1. Cobra Kai is just trying to pressure that wall. Oh, way to stay in bounds. She was on her tiptoes and towing the line, but she's now your lead jammer, and that is Cobra Kai.
Yeah, good. Sonoma was really trying to hold her all the way to the line. They were able to get their butts out, but not get their feet to the line, and Cobra Kai was just like, I fit here.
Well, she made a quick pass, scored 4 points, called it off.
It's going to be 50 for Emerald City, 29 for Sonoma County. Now we have 9 minutes left in the first half.
The Big O is brought to you in part by the acclaimed Rydell Solaris. The performance you demand, the comfort you've been missing. Both these jammers right now are trying to get through the pack. It looks like Punky Bruiser got knocked out of bounds and continues to get knocked out of bounds and drugged back.
This is the first time I think we've seen Punky Bruiser as a jammer.
Yeah.
Louisiana Slamma is jamming for Sonoma. Is going to pick up a lead for Sonoma. She looks pretty happy about that.
Punky Bruiser getting dropped on the inside line, having to go back to turn 1 again.
It's a full complement of Emerald City blockers ready for Louisiana Slammer. It's going to be number 87, KWOW, playing some offense and trying to help break that up. Of course, the danger of that is letting out the other jammer, so Punky Bruiser did get out in that hubbub. It's going to be 4 points for Sonoma.
Right now we've got a score of, I believe, 33 Sonoma to 50 Emerald. 7.5 minutes roughly left in this game. We're going to see Renegade again out there with the star on her helmet for Sonoma, going up against Bandiscoot.
Nobody currently in the penalty box. Everybody's playing roller derby.
Yay! 5 on 5. Renegade trying to take that inside line, and there's nothing but green shirts to meet her.
A very, very tight pack as it goes into the apex here.
And with that, Thrash Bandiscoot went around the outside. She is now your lead jammer, and a back block is being called on Renegade. So that means Scoot is in a power jam.
Still got all the blockers on the track, so we're slowed down, but also back in kind of a scrum.
There's going to be a direction to play. I believe that is going to be, yes it is, that should be Lucille Balls.
Sheer Badass trying to hold Bandiscoot all the way to the line, isn't quite able to do it. 5 points on the board for Emerald City.
Well, that was a pretty good job by Sonoma. They're defensively, they weathered the offense and pretty much burned up that penalty, only giving up 5 points.
Yeah, and good job there by Renegade clearing that initial pass right away out of the penalty box, so everybody's scoring eligible.
10 points put up for Emerald City in that last jam.
Score now 60 for Emerald City, 33 for Sonoma County.
On the line, you're going to see Rowdy Bowdit for Sonoma, once again with the star on the helmet, going up against Hawkins for Emerald.
Still one person in the penalty box for Sonoma, no one for Emerald City. It's going to give Emerald City a pack advantage here.
Hawkins trying to try the inside, now just trying to push the entire pack up. Finds an opening back on that inside line, and she is out as your lead jammer. Well, you got to hold down that inside line, as the Sonoma jammer also just bounced right on through there as it was wide open.
Yeah, it's important not only to be standing on the inside line, but also to make sure that some part of your body is kind of over that line, because otherwise the jammer can launch themselves into the air and land on the other side where your feet aren't. So it is really important to kind of protrude a hip out over the line so that there's no space for a human body to fly.
Because you don't want to get jumped over.
No.
It's one of the worst things ever.
No. You're still a point. You're definitely a point that way.
Oh, yeah. And then you're an angry point.
A very angry point.
Cobra Kai is on the line, going up against Sonar. And now we've got a slight pack advantage for Sonoma.
Sonar tiptoeing on the outside line, lead jammer for Sonoma.
Oh, Cobra Kai trying to get around, but that's actually great defense by She-Ra Badass.
Yeah, there, another spinning through the pack. Seems to be working out pretty well for Sonar.
It must be the tutu.
5 points there.
She can tiptoe and spin. Fifty Shades of Grey stopped that inside maneuver, and Sonar had to run to the outside.
Good job by Sonar there, forcing that multiplayer block on Boom Harang, just pushing on that brace until ref didn't have a choice but to call it.
Another 5 points being picked up by Sonar. Oh, there's that jump at the apex, but on the other side, wow, that was a brutal hit.
I could not see where her feet were. I don't know. It looks like she scored some points. I couldn't tell if she landed in upright and in bounds.
I believe that was Skinner. I believe she pulled it off, landed, but was immediately met with a brutal hit by Skinner. And that'll rattle your teeth.
And she did crawl out of bounds after, so I'm curious if she wasn't sure where her feet were when she landed. But she got 3 points off of it, 13 total. It's the second large point run for Sonoma in this half. 46 for them, 61 for Emerald City, and about 3 minutes left.
And just like that, out of the pack, you are going to see Bandiscoot again out as your jammer.
Bandiscoot having a wonderful game for Emerald City today. There, see, that's what happens when you cover the line, but you don't cover the line.
All right, just kind of loitering there. Y-Fly is still trying to get out on her initial pass, and excellent little defense being played out there. That was Rex Havoc who had her in the back. Finally, she does find an opening, though, in turn 4. Well, Bandiscoot puts another 3 points up on that pass. Calls off that jam, and with about 2 minutes left in this game, or in this half, excuse me, we've got a score of 69-46.
You know, when we see games kind of in this area of the rankings, so in the 170s, 180s area, you see at the very beginning, you know, the packs are very tight. They were very together. It was very difficult for the jammers to score. But kind of now, as everything's loosening up, we're getting more of those mistakes where the lines are open or they're covering the line but not over the line. And so we're able to see more of those fun things for us, like apex jumps, but also higher scoring as it goes. Back block called on number 504.
Louisiana Slamma.
This is going to be a power jam for Emerald City.
Yep, Hawkins right now in the power jam and a little salt in the wound. She's your lead jammer. She is right now hopping all over the place and then getting low just like that. 5 points. Kids at home, if you want to know how you get low, that's it.
Yeah, good jump by Sonoma, stretching that pack out as long as they could, but they just couldn't stop her.
Oh, wow. Yep, she was going out of bounds, went ahead and called it dead. Jammer is standing for Sonoma in the penalty box. So we are going to get this next jam started with Emerald still in a power jam.
Score now 78 for Emerald City, 46 for Sonoma County.
Down the track is going to be Cobra Kai once again, and she's got all of her blockers there to help. Emerald's got to be careful because they just threw a bunch of blockers at offense. But here comes the jammer from Sonoma.
Yeah. Emerald was able to secure lead and reform before the jammer from Sonoma hit the pack.
Ooh, Punky Bruiser with another brutal hit on that jammer. And a cut.
Yeah, good job by Punky Bruiser drawing that cut. She topped her out, and it didn't seem like Louisiana Slammer had any idea that she had done it, obviously because she didn't yield.
Yeah, she just put a foot out of bounds, and if you don't sometimes feel the rope, you'll just keep right on running, but the refs will catch that.
I think even a foot is generous. I think it was like a quarter of a wheel, a sliver of a toe stop.
Well, out of bounds is out of bounds.
I'm not saying it's not. It's just so hard to know.
We've all done it. And another beautiful, beautiful play. That is once again Cobra Kai picking up 5 points.
It's going to be the end of this power jam as Louisiana Slam is headed back onto the track. Period clock is done, so we're on jam time now.
Still trying to get through. Cobra Kai's got one player left to beat. That was a nice big hit from Chica Boom, but she just shrugged it off and picked up her 5 points and kept moving forward. And we had looks like a equipment malfunction down there. There are some parts and pieces that ended up on the inside line. Interested what that is.
It's a good time for it to happen, though, at the end of the half as opposed to,
Yeah.
I don't know,
The first jam?
the first jam. You're putting your skate back together in 30-second increments.
Oh, that just stinks. The worst.
Lots and lots of whistles. That's going to be the end of the jam and the end of the half.
Another 4 points picked up by Emerald. They had a very strong ending, picking up 19 points. Emerald City staying at 97 and Sonoma at 46 as we roll into intermission.
Yeah, so a good halftime talk right now for Emerald City about how they can keep this up, and then Sonoma's probably going to have a little bit of a chat about how they can get back to that 15-minute mark where they really had the momentum moving in their direction.
Right. They had some really good plays during that. Unfortunately, I'm going to say it's their play. Their wall's not staying together consistently. They've had really good moments of that, and they've also had really good moments of one-on-one, but then penalties have also played a role in taking that score and keeping it just out of reach from them.
Yeah, what I would really try and focus on when I was in the locker room right now is not only staying together and covering the inside line, but also watching the outside alley, because they've been doing a very good job of closing up kind of the fun spots on the inside, but then leaving the outside alley open, and Bandiscoot is just fast enough that she can zoom right around the outside of it. You need to make sure at least somebody is watching that space.
Right. All right, folks, we're going to let you go get a beer and some popcorn or whatever it is that you would like to do with your halftime. I'm the King. I'm right here with October Revolution, and we'll be right back. Got like 9-10 games to just go with it.
We got about 30 seconds left before we get back to the second half of this game. It's Emerald City Roller Derby, the hometown team, up against Sonoma County Roller Derby. The score coming back in the half is 97 for Emerald City, 46 for Sonoma County.
We're going to get things started. Thrash Bandiscoot is out there with a star on her helmet for Emerald. She had a really good first half. They really did a great job putting points up on the board. Her and Hawkins were the two, in my opinion, standout jammers for Emerald. Out there joining will be Renegade for Sonoma.
Yeah, Bandiscoot really had a good job at being patient, looking for good avenues, and then taking them very, very quickly.
Emerald City will start one blocker down because there's a person in the penalty box. Renegade trying to press that defense. They already worked all the way up to the top of the apex. Nice wall work, though, being laid down by Emerald.
Lethal head of the penalty box for Sonoma, going to make the pack even at 3-on-3. Bandiscoot out and lead for Emerald.
Renegade still trying to get through. She's at the other side of the apex. Gets knocked out of bounds. Oh, that is going to be a track cut. Yes, it is. That was a very heads-up play. They knocked her out of bounds, took a jump back, and she went ahead and kept running.
Yeah, I think that she thought that she had gone back far enough, but they came in almost even, if not a little bit ahead, and that the optical illusion of the apex.
And with that, Bandiscoot is through, picking up 5 points.
A little bit of confusion. I think that the whistles blew on track 2, and everyone on track 3 thought it was theirs. But luckily, they just stopped skating. They didn't leave the track, so we're going to continue roller derbying for a bit.
That's right. We got 3 tracks of awesome derby going on. 5 more points, though, being picked up by Thrash Bandiscoot on this pass. Renegade is out on initial, and Thrash Bandiscoot got kicked out of bounds, picked up 2 points, went ahead and called it dead after 17 points in that jam being put up for Emerald.
It's going to make the score now 114 for Emerald City, 46 for Sonoma County. Sonoma, who was struggling in the first half of the game, was able to kind of close that gap. Had it within 20, I think, at one point.
It was 15.
Yeah, it was 15.
Yeah, it was 15.
But Emerald City was able to adjust and kind of reopen it with these 2 big jams in a row. They ended the last half with 19. They ended this last jam with 17. That's a lot of points.
Yeah. We got Hawkins again out there, and what is that? Rowdy Bout It is out there for Sonoma with the stars on their helmet. Hawkins got past there. Everybody was wide open and spread apart. And Hawkins, again, is your lead jammer.
Rowdy About It was able to come out right behind and is chasing Hawkins down here, kind of fighting over that inside line to see who's going to hit the pack first. It's a bit of a jumble. No one in the front or back, really, so Hawkins going to call it off.
When that's right there, that little foot race, that's the whole basis of roller derby.
Yeah,
so that's where it all came from. But anyways, no, that little race, trying to get back into that pack and score those points. As soon as Hawkins saw that she was getting past, that's a good call off. You don't want to lose any points at this point, especially being this far up.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a speed skating. What's the word I'm looking for? Technique. Trying to hold the line, keep people from passing you, hoping they spin out. It's great. It's super fun to watch.
Louisiana Slam out there for Sonoma and can barely get past the jammer line. Oh, direction of play penalty, and that will be picked up on Rex Havoc.
That direction of play penalty was really, really good luck for Louisiana Slamma, because otherwise that would have been a cut.
Yeah, indeed. Well, looks like Cobra Kai is still stuck, has not made it past the pivot line, and gets knocked out of bounds. Oh, it was a nice big hit, but that is going to send, let me use that, Boone Villain to the penalty box.
They take a seat along with Spunky Bruiser, who takes a seat next to them.
Wow, they were going to wait till the last minute to call it off. Just barely no points being put on the board for Emerald on that pass. 4 points being picked up for Sonoma.
It's going to make the score now 55 for Sonoma, 114 for Emerald City.
Emerald City came out very, very strong. Sonoma right now has got a little bit of work to do to get back into to this game. We are going to see again Sonar out there against Scoot.
Pack's a little compressed. One blocker missing from each.
Forearm penalty going to be called out there on the pivot for Sonoma.
Lead went to Scoot from Emerald. Pack's real broken up right now.
Yeah.
Jammer's dream.
Well, they're going to go ahead and call this jam off after just picking up 5 points. They don't want to lose any points at this point, this far into the game to Sonoma. And that's a good call off.
Yeah, plus, as I was saying earlier, now it actually matters a little bit more. Every time you call off a jam, you burn 30 seconds off the clock. So with, a 60 or 70 point lead, especially considering these teams are ranked 10 apart, so you don't need to have that large of a point differential. It's not going to hurt you that much by burning those 30 seconds, but it would hurt you if Sonoma was able to have another run like they had earlier and put 30, 40 unanswered points on the board.
Wi-Fi is out there, but Hawkins runs up that inside line. It was open for a brief second, and she capitalized on it to become your lead jammer.
Big apex jump there. Gonna open up 4 points for Emerald. They call off that jam. Score now 123 to 55.
Social media teams right now are working feverishly and all weekend long to bring you live updates on Twitter and Facebook throughout this event. So log on now and check it out.
One Emerald blocker in the penalty box.
Cobra Kai down there for Emerald City, and that is going to be Renegade out there for Sonoma as your jammers. Renegade found that open lane on the inside of turn 1 and is your lead jammer.
Renegade sisters watching at home and probably very excited right now.
There was a pile up at the top of the apex. Cobra Kai still stuck in that pack. Oh, man.
Multiplayer block called on the hotspot, but they were still able to hold that jammer a little bit longer, gave 5 points opportunity to Renegade, though now both of these jammers are scoring eligible.
Well, it's going to be a foot race to the back of the pack. Cobra Kai gives a nice little hit. Wisely, that jam was called off.
I'm not sure why you'd run the jam right to the back of the pack there when you're the team that's behind if you're not going to run the jam long. If you're going to run the jam long to try and play the point differential, to try and gain points, ranking points as opposed to winning, I can see why you would not call it off. Or if you were going to call it off so that you had more opportunity to score points and chip away at the differential, I would think that you would do it the second that you knew you were both going to hit that pack, as opposed to chip 2 more seconds off and then do it.
Well, once again, that is Rowdy About It, and she's out as your lead jammer. Hawkins just picked up a cut track penalty as a blocker.
Rowdy About It really having a lot of luck with that kind of quick tap, quick hit, change direction, picking up 5 points.
Oh, man, and right now Emerald is 3 blockers down. No more room at the end down there in the penalty box. Rex Havoc's got to go back out on the track, but, I mean, 5 points are being thrown up there every time Sonoma's jammer passes.
Barely any blockers who are left on the track at the end of that jam. Looks like there's...
It's a diet pack.
2 and 2 in the box, although one of Emerald's blockers is standing, so it's going to be 3 and 2 to start the next jam. Sonoma was able to pick up 10 on that. As we get later in this game, the pack gets a little chippier. Everything gets a little less cohesive.
Well, I figured that was going to happen. They're going to have an official timeout. They want to take... Oop, and now the official reviews are coming. Yeah, there was a lot of action in that last one. A lot of whistles being blown. It's a good time to... I'm almost wondering what they're going to question at this point.
So the penalty box is holding up a board with 2 numbers on it, which means that there's a blocker. Okay, so we've got a jammer in the box for Emerald and 2 blockers. We have 2 blockers in the box for Sonoma. The penalty box manager is holding up a board with 2 numbers on it, meaning there's one more green blocker and 1 more blue blocker headed to the box.
Rex Havoc. She was the one who picked up the last penalty, but there was no place to sit down.
Yeah, and then also that happened for Sonoma. I didn't see who that third person was. Looks like it's number 50, that's Shira Badass, the captain. So both of these teams have a penalty queue heading here.
Next up for the penalty box is... Well, while we're taking a break, the 2018 WFTDA Continental Cup will produce the best in region through a competitive bracket. The first year of the Continental Cup Series will be hosted in Kalamazoo, Michigan, Omaha, Nebraska, Birmingham, United Kingdom, and you can find out more at the WFTDA.com.
So this is the official review. Each team gets 1 per half where they can ask the officials to officially review either a decision, either a call or non-call that they have made. Looks like we're doing that right now.
Well, while we're having the official review, the skaters are having a little dance party of their own down on the track. If everything goes as planned for Sonoma, we will see Louisiana Slamma out there as your jammer.
Looks like Rex Havoc just realized that there is room for her to sit down because there's standing people.
Oh, and I see a jammer being removed from the penalty box for Emerald City, and that means, I would bet,
they retain their official. I didn't hear 100% what the question was because it was announced over the loudspeaker in the venue. But it seems like they are going to retain their official review. So whatever it was that Emerald asked for, they got. I have a creeping suspicion it was, hey, our jammer doesn't belong in the penalty box. Because their jammer then got up and left the penalty box.
Oh, nice little bump out by Sonoma to keep the Hawkins in. That's also going to make Louisiana Slamma as your lead jammer. And just like that, Louisiana Slamma's through as 4 points being put more up on the board for them. Hawkins does make her way through, picking up another 4 points for Emerald. It looks like finally we're starting to get a pack back out there, a little bit thicker than it had been. Another 4 points being picked up by Hawkins. Rex Havoc doing a nice job on the inside line against Louisiana Slamma, forcing the call off, but they didn't call it off fast enough, so 4 more points were put on the board.
It's going to make this 12 for Emerald, 5 for Sonoma. Scores 135 to 75.
Sonar's making her way to the track for Sonoma, and once again, Thrash Bandicoot is out there for Emerald City.
It's like both these teams are getting along and having a good time, which isn't always the case when you have a score swing like this one.
Oh, nice move by Bandicoot around the outside in turn 1, and she's your lead jammer.
Lucia Ball's headed to the penalty box, with KWOW headed back out of the penalty box. Sonoma getting down quite a few blockers.
That's kind of what we were talking about. Right now, Sonoma, I mean, there's a couple players. See, there's another late call on Lethal, now headed to the penalty box.
Yeah, I think that Emerald figured out pretty early on that if you put a lot of pressure on the Sonoma pack, they make a lot of penalty mistakes.
Yeah.
And so they just continue to put pressure on that Sonoma pack, break them up, separate them, make it so they can't work together well, and then you end up with quite a few of them in the penalty box, which gives you free points, basically.
Yep. Oh, and just like that, they really didn't get together, and that jammer literally ran right between them.
As Rowdy Bowdit, one of the probably the most successful jammer for Sonoma in the second half.
Boomerang is in the penalty box for Emerald City as this jam comes to an end. 4 points put up by both jammers, though, in this last jam.
The head ref Admiral Mayhem headed over to the penalty box manager, it appears. Score is 143 to 79. We've got 18 minutes left in the game. Admiral Mayhem headed back in to the track zone. Nothing seems to have changed, so it might have just been a check-in.
Well, we're going to see Wi-Fi again out there as your jammer for Sonoma, and she already is your lead jammer. In hot pursuit is Hawkins, and really it's going to be just a race to the end.
Wi-Fi decides to call that one off. Going to be a 0-0 jam. The pack was moving pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was moving pretty quickly, and she really only had one of her teammates as a blocker in there. Now they can at least line up a little bit better. They had been released from the penalty box, but everybody was trying to run to catch back up. Things could have got messy and not to benefit Sonoma.
Looks like now we got one of each blocker in the penalty box. It's Renegade jamming against Bandicoot.
Oh, Renegade had an open lane for about a half a minute. Oh, and Renegade is down. I do not like the way she went down.
She's taking a little bit of time getting back up.
Oh, that's good to see. 5 points being picked up on that pass for Emerald City. Oh, Renegade. Rex Havoc put a nice hit on Renegade. Renegade had a tiptoe on that outside. Managed to stay in.
KWOW heading up to try and help Renegade out, but that allows Bandicoot to get free. Picks up 5 more points, 10 so far for Emerald City on this jam.
And this jam comes to an end. No, it does not.
Nope. It's the other track.
Oh, it's that ghost whistle that I keep hearing. And just like that Bandicoot is around the outside, picking up another 5-point grand slam.
First time in this game, I'm seeing a little bit of exhaustion on Bandicoot's face.
She's been jammed pretty heavily in this second half, so it's one of those things that, oh man, one of those things you got to be aware of.
That was a fantastic hit.
Yeah.
Made on Van de Scoot by the Boone villain. They really just, it was a totally legal place to hit her, and she fell right over.
Yeah. She thought she was going to scoot past that booty, but that thing just projected and said, no, you drop right here.
Yeah, it was it was like right, just so high that it was just off the like center of gravity, and just Van de Scoot just kind of flopped. It was, you saw it.
Oh,
watching.
yeah. It was beautiful. We're just
beautiful.
raving about it. Oh, 50 Shades of Grey picking up a forearm call. And this jam will come to an end.
19 points on the board for Van de Scoot. 162 now for Emerald City. 79 for Sonoma. Looks like Sonoma's going to use their second timeout. There's 14 minutes and 54 seconds left in this half, and they have 2 clock stoppages left. Emerald City has all 3 of their timeouts, plus they're restored to them. Official review.
This amateur sport is only made possible by volunteers like you, me, and every single person you see here.
Please send pictures of your pets enjoying the Big O from home, or just pictures of your pets. You can go hashtag Big O Cats and hashtag Big O Dogs, because we love them. And don't forget, if you're listening, or if you're quote unquote listening at work because you're not actually watching, but really you're watching, when you get home, make sure you send me pictures of your cats and your dogs. Hashtag Big O Cats, Big O Dogs.
I think that is the coolest campaign, by the way. I really do. I mean, everybody always likes cat and dog pictures, and we all ooh and ah over the doggies and the kitties.
It's one of my very favorite parts of roller derby.
Yep.
Is the obsession with other people's pets. I'm totally down with that.
Yep.
That's what community is all about, friends.
Mm-hmm.
Sharing the adorable things in our lives.
Well, speaking of adorable, Louisiana Slamma is out there for Sonoma, trying to work her way around the outside, but Emerald right now is all over it and keeping her in that pack.
That fast-moving, hip-hopping that's been working for Rowdy Bout It, Louisiana Slam has decided to try it. Works for her, too. Lead jammer now for Sonoma County.
Cobra Kai is still trying to find a way out of the pack, and they just keep bumping her in there.
That Emerald Wall, though, is no laughing matter.
But as Louisiana Slamma does get out of that, picking up a 5-point Grand Slam, she might be laughing.
Peck has stopped, headed in to turns 3 and 4. Louisiana Slamma basically leveled out one of the blockers from Emerald, able to get through again. It's a third 5-point pass.
And signs of life come back to Sonoma. They were struggling there for a few, but again, if you keep all your blockers out there, and they have for the last couple jams, they do a really good job containing the opposing jammer.
I misspoke. That was 2 5-point passes. Score was 10 on that jam. 89 for Sonoma County, 162 for Emerald City. After that, yeah.
Sonar is out there going up against Hawkins once again. And this jammer war. Excellent lateral movement from the defense of Emerald City.
Cut called on Hawkins. Just didn't see the Sonoma blocker that skated back after knocking her out. It's going to be a power jam now for Sonoma and Sonar.
Sonar still struggling in the straightaway on the opposite end of the court. Still trying to find a way through. Wreaks havoc. Nicely done. Wow, that is how you use your brakes and edges on your wheels. Had to get a little love from one of her blockers to get her out of the pack. That is Chica Boom that came in and played some nice offense to finally spring her jammer.
You would never know that there were only 2 Emerald blockers on the track during that last pass. They were able to make themselves very large, although Sonar was ready for them. This time, 5 points right around the outside.
Oh, wow. Hawkins thought she had it. She was in the straightaway and just tripped herself up and went face down. Now she's back up and in turn 1 trying to get around the Sonoma wall.
Someone doing a great job staying together. Oh, my gosh.
Jeez.
Big hit and a pile up. It's K-Wall that was down for a second, gets right back up.
I think she got a kick to the shin.
That resulted in Hawkins back in the penalty box. I didn't see what for, but the power jam continues. Sonora's going to call this off to freeze her there in the box. 8 points total for Sonoma on that. And
Yeah.
it starts over. I don't think that Bandit Scoot knows that Hawkins in the penalty box.
She'll get it. There she
There
is.
we go.
Well, Rowdy Bout You, or excuse me, Rowdy Bout It is out on the track. She's got a full contingency of blockers to back her up, and I expect there to be some offense.
Yeah, I think Rowdy Bout It's had a good half because that she has a lot of those like quick tap, quick hits, and the juking around, and it works out pretty well against Emerald. Lead now.
Yeah, she put both hands out.
Yes.
I was wondering how that was going to work. She did get right back up and try to continue jamming, but she did put both hands out at one point. So that's a good cut.
It's going to be a 2-minute jam. I really think it's because she thought in her head, oh, they called lead on me. I couldn't have cut. But she didn't realize that she cut after she thought she had cut when she put her hands down when she fell.
Holy smokes. Hawkins tried to jump the apex and got a hit mid-air and went down, and if I got hit like that, I would not be getting up right now.
That's how you cover the inside line.
That's exactly how you cover the inside line.
With your whole body.
Wow.
Got a minute left in this jam.
Well, Hawkins now taking a gigantic hit from Rowdy Bout It.
Rowdy Bout It gets up. Remember, this is her initial pass because she got that penalty right as she had completed her initial pass.
And with that, no points being scored for Emerald as the star pass has been successful. That will be going to Spunky Bruiser.
Is that a 2? I see it's a back block. Headed to the penalty box on a back block.
And so this is another power jam. We will be going the full 2 minutes. As you know, if you get a star and it has been passed to you, you are not eligible to be lead. Not that she was lead at any point. 5 points being put up by Spunky Bruiser.
It's going to be 10 now on the jam. That jam got called off right as Rowdy Bout It was sprung from the penalty box. So we're going to start with 2 new jammers. Score is 100 to 172. And there is an official review being called.
And we have 9 minutes left in this game. Emerald City is pretty solid. They've come out very solid in the second half to establish their lead and hold on to it and contain, really, Sonoma from getting back into this game.
Yeah, they've done a good job at, like you said, expanding the gap and then holding it there. But I think Sonoma didn't give up. There was a moment where they could have just given up and let the score do what it may, and they didn't. They fought back into it, and so it's a 72-point game now, and so it's unlikely, right, that they'll make up those 72 points in 9 minutes. It's not impossible, but it's
not
unlikely.
Impossible.
But they have they put a tourniquet on the rankings bleeding, which is really what they needed to do when they ended up in that deficit.
Yeah. Yep, they've just done a really good job of sticking with it, taking advantage of every opportunity they get, especially when they get into those power jams. You're seeing points get put up on the board. Offense looks pretty good. And they are, really having to work through that Emerald wall.
Yeah. And they've done a good job of, even after they have a bad jam, both teams even, they've had a bad jam, their walls get broken up, a lot of them are in the penalty box. Both teams have done a very good job of getting back in the mental game, which isn't always the case in these games. And, things haven't gotten super chippy. They haven't gotten super nasty. We haven't seen, huge dangerous hits. We've seen big hits. I'm glad because it's roller derby. But we didn't see anything that seems dangerous or, what's the word I'm looking for? Irresponsible.
Irresponsible, yeah. And that's another thing. I mean, when folks get in and get mad at the refs, that they will take themselves out of the game.
We're going to hear the official review decision in a minute. You might be able to hear it in the background. We're going to try and hear it so we can repeat it to you. But, it's a good time to silence your dogs and cats. You from Admiral Mayhem?
Well, what they wanted to do was reverse one of the penalties, is how it was explained. And what they're going to do is keep the penalties the way it was. So Derby will be played as it had been. How's that for an explanation?
That works. Notice that the box is empty, so that penalty had already been served. But I don't have an inside whiteboard anymore, so I can't tell you how many penalties people have.
Right.
But if you are getting up close to that 7, you might try and get one given back to you so that you don't foul out in the last 9 minutes of the game.
Yeah. Well, we are going to see, I believe that is Y-Fly out there, and she will be going up against Bandiscoot. Ooh. Strong wall, even with offense coming in. Y-Fly having a hard time getting out of that pack.
Bandiscoot lead on this jam. The pivot from Sonoma Chica Boom headed to the penalty box.
Nice big hits coming off the defense of Emerald City. They still got hold of that jammer. That is excellent work right there. Every time she thinks she's going to get away and she gets that one-on-one, they just reform and recycle. Again, a nice scoot out that time. That is Boom Harang, and that was a beautiful little tap to the outside, last-ditch effort, and they still have managed to contain Y-Fly.
Bandiscoot also getting recycled over and over again. Both these packs doing a great job of containing these jammers, and both these jammers seem to be getting frustrated with these packs containing them.
And just like that, there was a swing and a miss. And that is a testament to playing positional blocking as opposed to going for the big hit. As soon as they went for that big hit that knocked the player out, all of a sudden she missed, and now you've got an open lane, and that jammer is free to go. Picked up those 5 points and calls off this jam.
Yeah, the most effective way, I feel like, to keep recycling a jammer like that is to push them into the line and then tap them out.
Yeah.
Push them to the line and tap them out. Because you see a lot of times blockers will push that jammer to the line and then not tap them out, and then that's bad too, because then that jammer can just step around you. So you need to make sure you not only are positionally blocking, but you're also are forcing them either to the inside or outside line and then knocking them out so you can get their recycle.
We're going to see Cobra Kai as your jammer for Emerald City again, and that's going to be Louisiana Slamma out there, who is now your lead jammer.
Big hit by the Boone Villain on Cobra Kai.
Boone Villain getting a nice big hit as she was going to run back that jammer, but wow, Boone Villain, they've got some fantastic moves defensively. Nice swoop out.
The Boone Villain is really one of the blocker standouts in this second half. They've really been able to turn on the positional blocking, hitting power button. I don't know. Turbojet.
I like it. Hey, everything you just said right there. I would like to install one of those buttons, please, as an upgrade.
I need more words for awesome is what I need right now. It's day 1 of this tournament. I'm already out of words for awesome. Feel free, Big O 2018, to tweet some words for awesome at me.
5 points being picked up by Louisiana Slamma. And she tiptoed past a few blockers, and that was beautiful. Juked everybody right out of their skates. Picked up 4 more. Calls off that jam as the opposing blocker was re-emerging back into the pack.
14 points for Sonoma on that jam, scoring on 114 to 177. We have 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in this half.
Hawkins, who was laying sideline for a minute, trying to catch her breath. Last time she was out there with the star on her helmet, really took some big hits, landed awkwardly a few times. I almost didn't think we were going to see her again because, sometimes if you get roughed up enough, they might sit you down and let you rest, especially when you got yourself a lead. Sonar's out there for Sonoma. Wow, Hawkins has got some bounce. I think she might have heard me talking smack, and she bounced all over the place, out now as your lead jammer.
Back advantage for Emerald City right now, working in Hawkins' advantage. 5 points on the board. Sonoma only has 2 blockers on the track, so it's a 2 for 2 special.
Finally, Sonar out of the pack on initial. No points. No points being put up. I should say no points put up on that pass. Only the 5 points that Hawkins originally got.
It's going to be 182 to 114 with 4 minutes 28 seconds. We're now seeing an official review being called by Sonoma.
We are going to see Cobra Kai again out there with the Sonar helmet for Emerald City, going up against Rowdy Bout It for Sonoma. And right now,
we're having a captain official conference. It's like a parent-teacher conference, but more.
Probably less serious than the parent-teacher conference.
I don't know. Have you ever been in an official review before? Definitely with larger chairs, though. You don't have to sit in those like small children chairs.
Oh, right? Yeah. I had to go to one of those, I don't know, about a month ago. And yeah, my son, I felt like I was sitting on the floor.
Yeah. That's how they keep the upper hand on you, those teachers. They're like, hey, sit in this teeny tiny chair.
Yeah.
When we tell you you parent badly.
All right. Well, hey, I would like to thank Hit This Derby Gear. They have everything you need to get rolling, from skates to protective gear and unmatched service for all of your derby needs. Before you hit the track, hit this.
I love to hear that. Let me see you keep your hand up if you're here more than 2 years at the Big O. Put your hand up.
Well, we've got a full day of awesome games coming up. On track 1, a little bit later, a very big game for a lot of the folks here in the venue is going to be Rose City taking on Arch, and that should be a really exciting game. I know also we've got Montreal is taking on Angel right now as we speak, and that's just day 1. You've got these awesome games, and we haven't even gotten to the later parts of the day where you're going to see things like Victoria and Denver and folks like that. So stick around. If you are watching at home, get comfortable and maybe stretch a little bit and get ready for a full day of fun activities.
Full weekend.
Full weekend, yeah.
Activities. Open your windows. You don't need to go outside. I know the weather is decent finally in some parts of the country right now, but it doesn't matter. Just open your windows. Let the fresh air in and don't leave your house. While you watch 3 full days of roll. You know that's what I would be doing if I were home right now. Put it on the screen.
There you go.
Yell with no one else around me. I mean, you can invite friends over, fine, but you know you want to be yelling and screaming at the TV by yourself, refreshing Twitter over and over again.
What we call our downtown bar because if you get to Broadway,
And as you know, we're right here in sunny Eugene, Oregon. And if you're in town, please swing on by. We've got all these awesome days full of derby action for you. We also got some great vendors here that would love to show off their wares to you. So if you do come on down, hit our vendor village right down as you walk in the front doors next to track 1.
It is pretty sunny here, you know. This is my second Big O, and it hasn't rained yet. I'm knocking on this table.
Yeah. Now that you said that,
it's going to pour for the rest of the weekend.
Nah, it doesn't pour in Oregon. It mists for weeks. All right. I do believe we are going to start now in a power jam. Rowdy Bout It is the only jammer out there, so that official review seemed to work out well for Sonoma.
Yeah, there's a plus sign next to Sonoma now, so they got to keep their official review, and it seems like they were asking for a penalty on the jammer, and they got it.
And with that, Rowdy Bout It is out as your lead jammer. Wow. Didn't look like there was any room there, but Rowdy Bout It made a little bit of space to put her feet down and get through on that inside line. Picks up 5 for her effort.
Nothing quite like running on wheels.
It happens. Rowdy Bout It called it off. Yeah, she's going to be down there for a minute. Oh, nope.
Nope.
Make that a second.
Smart that she called that one off, though, instead of having it be called off for her, because now she doesn't have the 3 jam wait if she's all right in a minute. And it looks like she's all right. She got up on her own. Looks like she took a hit to the back of the neck, though. She's kind of holding her neck.
That's no fun. Well, Y-Fly is down there on the track. Cobra Kai is joining. Those are going to be your jammers in this next jam. Ooh, Y-Fly, nice move on the outside line. Y-Fly is your lead jammer.
That's how you stay in bounds, get lead. That's also why you have to make sure that you keep hitting the jammer when they're up against that line.
Yep. Try and throw off that balance.
Yeah. Make them take that step back.
Storm a little bit now, reforming as Cobra Kai still has to get out in front of the Sonoma blockers.
Wow, Cobra Kai all the way to turn 3 and still struggling to get through. I think she heard me, though, and came out at the top of the apex on her initial pass. Those jammers always like to prove me wrong.
It's the announcer coach. The second you say something, it's over. It's 3 points for Sonoma on that. Scoring now 182 to 122. This is a 60-point game. It was a 75-point game just 5 minutes ago. So Sonoma's chipping away very, very slowly. They're going to call a timeout. They let 17 seconds tick before they called that timeout, though.
Yeah, I
So
might.
that stinks.
Yeah, I don't. The refs really weren't seeing it. He should have ran out there and really made them, know that he wanted that timeout.
Yeah.
But well, Louisiana Slamma once again out there with star on her helmet. They've got all 4 blockers on the track, so they're going to go 5 on. And Emerald City is looking the same way. They've got all 5 of their blockers on the track, or excuse me, all 4 of their blockers on the track. Well, is that new math?
They let one of them score points. And, I know there's no ball in this game, but we do let people score points. Contrary to popular belief.
Hawkins will be the jammer out there for Emerald City. Hawkins has had an absolutely awesome game so far today for Emerald. Really, they've played a fantastic game on both ends of the track here. Their defense has had a really good job staying together and holding or containing the jammers for Sonoma.
It's a real testament to the Emerald City defense in that I can't think of the one blocker that held them together or the 2 blockers that really are effective. It's just the wall is impenetrable.
Yeah, they're playing really well as a team.
Yeah.
If somebody's got to recycle up or someone's got to flip or they have to do something, they're doing all the right moves and they know how to do it together.
It's number 23 from Sonoma, Lethal, head of the penalty box. And number 8 from Emerald City, Slapcat, head of the penalty box.
Hawkins right now dancing on the pivot line, going back and forth.
That is Louisiana Slamma, whose lead now for Sonoma. Minute 41 left in the period. Minute 25 left in the jam. So there's possibility we'll see a second jam here.
Yeah. Look at that. Hawkins just picked up a cut track, and that's going to be now a power jam. 5 points being put up on the board for Louisiana Slamma.
Boonville head of the penalty box.
Louisiana Slamma, oh man, yep, got that pack a moving. They need to put the brakes on about 20 feet back to try and slow that down.
Only one Sonoma blocker left on the track, but no Emerald jammer. So this pack advantage,
Best case scenario.
I mean, if you're going to have only one blocker on the track, it's the best case scenario.
Well, Hawkins now out of the penalty box.
Scoring eligible.
Yep. Hotspot was the only blocker out there. She got by her on the inside line. Hotspot now playing some offense, trying to get her jammer free. And it works. 5 points being put up by Louisiana Slamma.
Oh my gosh, that's a huge hit from the hotspot on Hawkins. It was a no pass, no penalty, though, going to be 4 points scored by Hawkins, 5 by Louisiana Slamma. Timeout called by Emerald City. 137 to 186.
49 points.
It's a 15-point jam for Sonoma County, 4 points for Emerald City. We got 22 seconds left in the period clock. And then, of course, however long this jam goes.
Themselves and steered their bodies across this whole track. Don't forget, you got 2 more days. 2 more days to go.
So the Big O is brought to you in part by the acclaimed Rydell Solaris. The performance you demand, the comfort you've been missing. You can find it at Rydell. Sonar is out there, right along with Thrash Bandiscoot with the stars on their helmets as Jammer in their role.
Lots of confusing whistling.
Well, they heard a whistle and everybody went for it, and then they were like, nope, that's not your whistle.
That's not your whistle. They literally say that's not your whistle. People still, as somebody who's been a jam timer before, it's like, this is not your whistle. Nope, they still come skating right at you.
Wow, there is a pile up. People are going all over the place. Thrash Bandiscoot getting escorted out of bounds on the outside.
Lead Jammer going to go to Sonar from Sonoma.
Bandiscoot trying to pressure her way through on the inside line, trying to separate everybody. Finally finds an opening on the outside.
Sonar still caught inside the pack, pushed from the outside to the inside, taking another go at Emerald City here. Bandiscoot now in scoring position, just skates right around the Sonoma blocking core.
Wow, Sonar was literally tiptoeing on that inside line, almost curled around backwards, does pick up all 5 of her points as she gets by.
Bandiscoot has 4, though another headed into the pack together. Soma decides to run this one long.
We've got a star pass. 50 Shades of Grey now has got the star and is out of the pack.
I didn't see any points go up for that.
Yeah, I was looking and I didn't see anything either. Almost wondering if she just passed over the top of everybody and didn't score anything.
It's possible.
It is possible, not likely. Oh, and 50 Shades of Grey picking up a low block, and so...
She sits down with 25 seconds left, so this game will most likely end...
in a power jam.
In a power jam. I mean, it's not set in stone. Because now that I've said that, it won't.
Yeah,
but
there's going to be some kind of bonus play.
Yeah. Jammer swap, you know.
Yeah, Sonar still trying to get out of that pack. She's right now to the pivot line and really pressing against, I believe, all 5 points. Yes, indeed, all 5 points did get picked up at the end of that. We've got a score of 193-147. It's an unofficial score. And, of course, as you know, refs will always make sure the points and penalties are correct before they sign off of it.
We have a jam ref standing at the scoring table, too, so...
He's doing a little discussion down there about what is happening and what just went on. Well, once again, this is the Big O, first day of the Big O, and heck, we are only a little ways in, and we do now have a final score, 193-147. Emerald City has pulled off the win over Sonoma County.
I'm October Revolution. I'm here with the King. Make sure you check out some of the other tracks and some of the other games going on today, or come back here for the next game on Track 3, and have a wonderful rest of your Big O.
Thank you very much.